Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with another transfer talk roundup show. The news around Aston Villa is going absolutely crazy, and we've now had Unai Emery and Damien Vidagani talk about Aston Villa's transfer window business that has gone crazy, chaotic, and hopefully we can get one or two players in the transfer window. We're going to go through it all in this next video. Please do, before we get into it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and help us continue to grow on the road to 10k. We've gone smash past 5,000, on the road to 6,000, and ultimately, like I say, to hit that 10k number. So like, subscribe, and get your comments in. What your thoughts are on this transfer window? Who do you think we're going to get? Because it now looks like Joao Felix is off. Absolutely crazy. Looked like that was the deal that was to be done. Monchi talked about wanting to get him in, saying that it was complicated in terms of wages, and I guess he's got dual ownership and various different factors involved, and it looks like now like AC Milan look like they're going to sign him. Now, whether that again is something to do with Chelsea being a direct rival of Aston Villa, not necessarily wanting to trade him to us and a direct rival in the Premier League, I don't know. Whether that's to do with the agent, whether that's to do with his wages, whether that's to do with Unai Emery maybe moving to other targets. But it does seem strange that every single transfer window, Joao Felix is mentioned because Unai Emery is such a fan. We ultimately flirt with him, he flirts with us, and then we don't end up getting him. So it's a silly situation, a crazy situation, but it does look like that deal isn't going to be done. And Axel Disasi loan deal as well is stalling. Apparently Chelsea's directors have blocked that. But there are one or two other moves that could be in the offing. Kevin Danso has now been linked again. Aston Villa in advanced talks apparently with him. I don't know whether that would be a loan move, whether that would be a permanent move. I think that's the kind of negotiation at the moment. And with him, he was all set to go to Wolves, and one or two other clubs as well were interested in him. I think Juventus may have been interested in him as well, but that's gone off. So Aston Villa now look to be in advanced talks with him, and we did cover him and talk about him a few shows ago. 6'3", centre-back, 26 years of age. In his youth career was at Reading and MK Dons, which is interesting. Then went to Augsburg from 2016 to 2018 in their B team. Then their first team from 2017 to 2021, where he made 41 appearances, scored 3 goals. Was on loan at Southampton from between 2019 and 2020. Only played 6 games. Then between 2020 and 21, played for Fortuna Dusseldorf on loan. Playing 32 times, scoring 2 goals, and then Lens, 112 appearances so far and scored 4 goals, and he's represented Austria right from under 15 level up to the full international level, where he has 24 caps. 6'3", as I say, very strong, and a very sort of athletic defender. Very good on ground duels, as SofaScore says, and I will share the screen and so we can look at him again in terms of his sort of heat map, predominantly on that right side, but also covers the left as well. So, can play in both those centre-back positions. I think purely a centre-back. I don't know if he's covered right-back very often. 12 starts in 12 games, 9, but played the full match in all of those games. Hasn't scored a goal, so don't know what he's like from set pieces. In terms of passing accuracy, 86% per game, 94% in his own half, and 76% in the opposition half. 42% in terms of accurate long balls and 45% in terms of chip passes, so not too bad at all. Been part of 5 clean sheets, 4.9 ball recoveries per game, and 5 clearances per game, which is pretty good. And 46% in terms of the ground duels won, and 64% in terms of aerial duels won. And you'd expect that at 6'3" to be quite dominant in the air. and 55% of total duels won. So, look, I think seeing as quite a few Premier League clubs are interested in him, it could be a good move. Now, I don't know whether people would prefer Disasi, whether people would prefer Danso. Obviously, we've seen a bit more of Disasi in the Premier League, and we've seen him make mistakes. We've seen him play well. With Danso, would he be able to adapt to life in the Premier League? Ultimately, we need bodies in the defence, and Emery has talked about directly today, saying they want to bring 2 or 3 players in. It's not a planned transfer window. I don't think they plan to have this bid for John Duran and such a huge bid. I don't think they plan for it to be so chaotic in terms of transfers in and out. Maybe the Philogene and Marlon deal was something that they wanted to do, and the Garcia deal was, I think, something that they couldn't turn down. But all this kind of back and forth with players here and there, with Felix, with Disasi, with Danso, with Matisse Tell, that looks like it's off now. He's potentially going to stay at Bayern Munich. Tottenham are interested. Tottenham had agreed a deal, 50 million, 60 million euros. Daniel Levy had gone out to speak to him and his representatives, and he's turned them down, apparently. And Aston Villa looked like that deal's off, and it looks like he's probably going to stay at Bayern Munich. So that's an interesting one. Asensio is still in there, and he wants Villa, but I don't know if they can do it in terms of, I think PSG are pushing for a permanent move. I think Villa are pushing for a loan move. So how would that work out? And it's wages again. These players are on such big wages, and he's 29 years of age. Would he come in? And I think he would just have to be a loan deal. It couldn't be another Coutinho situation where it was a loan with an option to buy. Just get him in on loan. Give us some spark to the end of the season. Give us another body. Give us some creativity and show what you can do. And then, we say thank you and goodbye. Because, like I say, the wages that these players command is so big. Now, the big shock and I talked about this a week ago, but the big shock is it's actually being confirmed that we are actively seeking a loan move for Marcus Rashford. Now, Barcelona are apparently interested in him, and it was potentially looking like that was going to get done. But because of FFP reasons, Barcelona cannot afford the wages. He obviously doesn't want to stay at Manchester United. I think there's been 1 or 2 other clubs that have flirted with it, Chelsea, Arsenal. But Aston Villa are a concrete target and trying to see what they can do in terms of presenting something to Manchester United and Marcus Rashford to see whether he would be interested. Now, it divides a lot of opinion. For me, I would say no. I think the £350,000 a week that he's on, how we would structure that in terms of, how much Manchester United would have to pay for it, but also the motivation of the player. Yes, people say he needs a fresh start. Yes, Unai Emery likes to work with talented players who have fallen off a little bit, but has Rashford fallen off too far? Can he come back with anything like the ability that we've seen? It would be amazing. It would be fantastic if he could, but I just don't see it. I can't see us getting anything out of him that would be worthwhile. And would we be signing him with the purpose of potentially signing him on? But there's just no way we could afford his wages. For me, I think it's a non-starter, but it shows you the chaos in the market and what we're trying to desperately do, how we're trying to desperately get bodies into the side. Felix, Tell, Asensio, Rashford, these names are just floating around everywhere. I thought it was nailed on for Felix and Disasi, but this is not going to happen. Those two I just don't think are going to happen. I think there could be legs in the Rashford thing. I just don't know how well he'll fit in with the Aston Villa style. I don't know where we would play him. Would we play him off the left? Would we play him off the right? How would he compete with Marlon, Bailey and Rashford in there? Would we play him as an option up front with Ollie Watkins? But then we know what Watkins wants to be the number 1 striker. That's the whole reason why they accepted the bid for John Duran. And John Duran's gone now, and it's all confirmed with Al Nassr. And Emery has confirmed that Ollie Watkins is going to stay. He's happy with staying at the club as well, which is great. And we want to see him as the number 1 striker. We want to see him taking that backing and taking that confidence further on to the season. He's got 10 Premier League goals, 1 in the Champions League. We want to see him get to 20 goals this season. Can he do that in the second half of the season? Because if he does that, we qualify for Europe 100%, potentially even qualify for the Champions League again. So he can be a massive part of that. But where does Rashford fit into that if if we are to sign him. Matheus Cunha is still there as well. 60 million, something like that. We obviously face Wolves tomorrow as I'm recording this. Would there be something in that? Could we get something done in between Saturday and Monday? This is all in the offing. Would it be a loan deal with an obligation to buy at the end of the season? Now, for someone like Cunha, I'd definitely do that. I'd definitely do that because we would probably have to give him some form of pay rise. We can obviously promise Champions League football for the rest of the season. We're obviously going to finish higher than Wolves as well. And for him, practically, probably doesn't have to move too far or anything like that. So that would, to me, make sense way more than Marcus Rashford. Yes, it would be glamorous. Yes, it would be something that would be a big move for the media and a big move for kind of putting Villa again on the map, but certainly not in terms of practicality, in my opinion. Anyway, it is going to be a hugely interesting time over the next 3 or 4 days, up until Monday at 11 o'clock when that transfer window slams shut. We'll be doing a special transfer window show. I think we'll probably start it around 9:30 and run it up until the window closes with the boys. We'll get a few people on as well. We'll get your comments in, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We've obviously got match reaction for tomorrow's game as I'm recording this on Friday night. Hopefully a positive one. Full match reaction with the boys, fans forum, everything like that, reacting to the transfer window on Tuesday night, hopefully with a special guest as well. So loads more shows to come. Make sure you keep tuned to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Help us to continue to grow. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is it Danso? Is it Disasi? Is it Cunha? Is it Marcus Rashford? Would you be happy with that? Do you think there's still something in the Felix or Asensio deals? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching. And as always, remember, we all follow the Villa.